Have you ever wondered what's the easiest way to improve your digital SAT score as much as you can with just 4 days left to study? I'm going to show you how to do that in this video. Digital SAT is probably the hardest version of the SAT that students have ever faced, right? I'm talking about since the 2000s. So if you want to maximize your score, you're going to need to know exactly what to do, especially if your time is very, very low. So jumping right into the first major thing you can do to improve your score is to take a practice exam. Guys, if you do not know where you are at in your digital SAT journey, it's kind of hard to assess what you need to improve on. So I highly recommend taking a digital SAT mock exam. There are about 3 of them released on College Board's website directly. So just take any one of them. Now, there is one disclaimer that I want you to keep in mind. These exams are not exactly representative of the real DSAT exam because these are pre-made. The real DSAT has a dynamic module 2, meaning depending on how well you do module 1, your module 2 will look different than your friends or your other friends. Not everyone will get the same problems, but on these mock exams that College Board has on their website, all the problems are the same, no matter how well you do a module 1, because it's a PDF, right? It's not like it's a dynamic platform or anything. So take a practice exam nonetheless to see where you are at. And you're most likely going to realize that you are probably better off than you thought you were, because the problems on this SAT, a lot of people tend to over prepare because they think it's going to be so hard, which, like I said, it is harder than your past SATs. But the mindset of over preparing, which is a really good mindset to have, will be make it a nice, pleasant surprise when you see that the problems are actually much easier than you think. So take a practice exam, see where you're at, and now after that you can make a good study plan so you know what to do, when to do it. Should you study math more, should you study reading more, etc. The next tip is to study all the math topics you are weak at and then study the reading topics. Yes, like I said, you want to take the practice exam to see whether you're more weak at math or more weak at reading, but no matter what, you want to prove your math first. This is simply because statistically, students score better on the math part of the DSAT than the reading part. And it's a pretty big reason why. Math is just easier. I feel like reading is harder because, a lot of the questions are open to interpretation. Maybe you might think the author is being negative. Someone else might think the author is being stern, and the choices are so similar. And it's like, I don't know. But math, you're either right or wrong, right? And you can show direct evidence to prove your answer. If you make a mistake in calculations, that's on you. Nothing is open to interpretation. Straight right or straight wrong. And if you're having trouble preparing for the math and reading sections of the DSAT, I highly recommend using Acely, and that is today's sponsor for this video. Acely is a study tool that is powered by AI to assist you for all your digital SAT needs. You see, Acely has amazing practices and mini quizzes that you can do constantly to see where you are in your SAT journey. And I know digital SAT problems are kind of hard to find, like really, really hard. If you're struggling, like many students are, to find these problems, Acely has thousands of questions, so you can never run out of practice questions for both math and reading. So whether you're struggling on math or struggling on reading, Acely can help you. And one real good thing about Acely is that a lot of students who end up taking the DSAT and doing mediocre or even well end up also taking the ACT, because ACT is another big exam that colleges are looking at. Well, Acely not only supports DSAT, but they also support ACT prep. So now you can conquer both of these exams using one tool. So if you're interested in Acely, be sure to check out the link in the description below so you can improve your digital SAT score, your ACT score, no matter what, with the power of AI and a great, robust learning tool. All right, so now that you have been studying math and you took your practice exams, there is something that applies to every single exam you will ever take. That is basic test taking strategies. You see, I recently took a certification exam for a software engineering related thing, and it was 27 hours of video content. 27 hours. And because of test taking strategies, I was able to pass that exam. And those same test taking strategies I used when I was studying for the SAT. So it literally just transitioned over. A very common strategy is what I call echo. When two choices are extremely similar, most likely they're both wrong, right? If it's the same exact thing, just reworded or said in a different way, right? Like 4 plus 2 is 6 versus like 7 minus 1 is also 6. Two choices are like that, then you know they're both wrong because the answer can't be 6 in 2 ways, right? So that already eliminates 50% of the choices that you are faced with. And now it's like a 50-50 and you can try to narrow down which one is correct. There are a bunch of other test taking strategies. Here's a guide right here. The link is in the description below, and it has over like 10 test taking strategies that are very, very good that you can not only use on the SAT, the ACT, but you can use on any single exam you ever take. And now the last tip is to take 2 more practice exams, 1 to 2 days before your exam. Yes, so now you took your practice exam, you learned your basic testing strategy, study math, study reading. Now is a time where you have maybe 24 hours before the exam, you want to take 2 practice exams, right? And after you're done these practice exams, all you're going to do is review the mistakes you made in that first practice exam you took on day 1, and then the other 2 practice exams you just took. Focus on the mistakes that you made on these practice exams that are representations of the real exam, and that way on the real exam you won't make those mistakes and everyone is good and you're happy and you get the score you want and you're smiling. So if these tips helped you, be sure to subscribe because a bunch of more SAT content will be coming your way, as well as AP classes content and some ACT content. So if you're interested, subscribe. Thank y'all for watching. Peace.